All right, guys. Welcome to Master the Game. I'm Juice, here with my 4 of the 5 wonderful players. The other one couldn't make it today. He had a rough night last night, but he should be with us in 2 weeks when we start playing. Tonight, we're just going to go over session 0, make some characters, figure out how the characters know each other. We'll do some fun stuff. Maybe we'll pull up my D100 chart or the D20 chart I made for the patrons a couple weeks ago, and have some fun and just bullshit and, figure out what's going on before we ever jump into this game. So we are not going to jump into playing the campaign tonight. So if you're here for that, I'm sorry. But we will be doing that in 2 weeks. So mark your calendars and we will be back for that. So with that, if everyone wants to introduce themselves, we'll go around. We'll start with Dave from Nerdarchy. Your audio's not working. Hang on. It's not your fault. It's my fault because of OBS. So yeah, it's actually not muted. It's just sometimes I have to open the property window to make it work. Now do me a favor, talk.
Say stuff.
There you go. It works.
From Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. Gremlins in the machines. Hey folks.
It's OBS.
We're gonna make some characters play some D&D. Sounds good.
Exactly. Colin, want to quick plug your other games and stuff like that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm Colin at Colonomicon on Twitter and Discord and Twitch and the other places that are relevant. And I run every Monday night. I play Bastion over on Song of the Deep on Encounter Roleplay, which is a D&D 5th edition campaign. That's 8 o'clock to 11 on Encounter Roleplay. If you like your D&D with lots of big feels, come see me occasionally cry on that show. And Tuesdays 2 to 5, I run Achtung Cthulhu over on Encounter Roleplay, which is a new game, not yet released, by Modifius, wonderful UK publisher, that is essentially their own 2D20 version, originally born of the Call of Cthulhu system. But it's like Call of Cthulhu with Nazis, because it takes place during the Second World War. The whole setting is during the Second World War. And I'm running a campaign over there called Forest of Fear. That is a campaign that's set in the Ardennes just before the Battle of the Bulge in 1944. And there's Nazis and shenanigans and Cthulhu going around. So that's super cool. And then I have my own channel too, twitch.tv/Colonomicon, where every other Friday, when I'm not going to be here with y'all, every other Friday, I'm going to be on my channel hosting a show. And Juice, I'm probably going to invite you to join me for this sometime. A show that we call the GM Postmortem, where we sit down and chat with GMs on how to be good at GMing. So I'm sure I'll be giving you a call, buddy. And that's all.
That sounds cool. So I am a dum-dum, and I did not get your links in the description. That'll happen, though, later. I will get those descriptions down there. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. So it's like a reoccurring show, and then you bring on special guests or something to talk?
Yeah, we have a guest every week. We have a GM every week that we discuss how to do stuff properly. So like the first week, we had Mitch from Encounter Roleplay, who's the owner of Encounter Roleplay now, at Penny for a Tale, Mitch, who is the best damn horror GM I know.
Nice.
And so we had him on with the topic of how the hell do you make an effective horror atmosphere and how do you properly GM a horror game. So
oh yeah, you were telling me about that a while ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, man. So once you master Pathfinder, I can have you on how to play the shit out of Pathfinder 2nd edition.
I'll let you know when I hit 10,000 hours of Pathfinder.
Fair enough.
All right. Bill.
I am Bill Allen. On most of the things, I'm either the Bill Allen, but my channel is Bill Allen World. I do a lot of gaming related content on the channel. We have the actual play ongoing series of D&D with high school students, where I run D&D for people who are young and haven't played D&D before. So it's like herding cats. They make all the mistakes and you watch on the edge of your seat, hoping that they'll do the right thing, and they usually don't. So it's a lot of fun.
Isn't that more fun with people who don't know like the tropes and everything?
Yeah, and even like in the last season, a couple of the cast members had some experience with D&D, so they're a little bit more evolved, but the whole process is pretty awesome. It's great to see people, start off with very little or no experience and then just get into the game. And it's always a lot of fun. So yeah, that's on hiatus. Thanks COVID, #2020. So in the meantime, we're just running some other stuff over there on the channel, some one shots, some actual plays. Every Monday I do Monster Monday. I do table topics. I do character builds. And recently I've done a lot of unboxing, Juice, because, while COVID's happened, people have different means of therapy. But for me, I found eBay, and that's now it's becoming a bit of a problem because I can't stop ordering miniatures off of eBay. But on the upside, it's my collection of old school 28 millimeter and 25 millimeter pewter minis has just exploded. Hopefully my wife won't be watching this, but basically, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm just going to keep my retail therapy on the down low because my wife just might be watching this right now. Maybe. Crap. Paula. No.
So I am Paula. I am on this channel a couple nights a week doing some mini painting. I'm on here every other Tuesday playing a Keep on the Borderlands Spec B game. And then usually something different on Saturdays. So tomorrow we have a Descent to Avernus game that we are playing on here with a variety of fun people.
Lots of character deaths.
Yeah, mostly just Luke is character deaths from DM Lair, but WASD 20 is on here, and then Jake from Mini Terrain Domain is on that game as well. So I don't know, that's about it.
Yeah, I hear you, Bill, on the COVID stuff. It's been a crazy year. We've done a lot of mini painting because of it. A lot of mini painting. That's actually what I think led to it.
Yeah, because I got out of it for a while.
Yeah, and we were like, we got to make some videos about something, and we're not doing stuff, with other people, so let's do some mini painting, and we dove into it pretty hardcore. It's been fun. I'm running a sweatshop over here, and Paula's my worker. It's great. I don't even have to pay her pennies on the dollar. It's awesome. So anyways, so the other player who was going to play with us is Draven Swiftbow. He's got a great channel. He covers Pathfinder reviews, Starfinder reviews. He's recently got into the Alien RPG. He talks D&D. He's got a really good older series where he compared like goblins through the different editions and fighters through the different editions and some other cool stuff. So you can also check him out. And like I said, links will be up hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to remember. I'm terrible at that sometimes, but I'm going to get them in there. So we all, for the most part here, have an idea for what we're going to play, correct? What characters?
Pretty vague idea, but yeah, pretty nebulous. Although I'm going to kind of mold it around what you guys are thinking because I'm going to be making my character kind of live on air here. So
that's perfect. Paula has not even made a decision yet.
Same boat. I have absolutely no idea what I'm playing. So, I was just going to wing it, see what you guys are doing.
Well, I have a squirrel brain, and Colin's like, you can use this app. And I'm like, oh, app. And I think I'm done. I don't know.
It's quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So people think Pathfinder 2nd edition is really complex and like overwhelming because it's a 600-page book, right? Creating a character is super easy, even following the book, right? Like in the front of the book, it's like 10 steps. You got, they call it the ABCs, ancestries, backgrounds, and then the class. And so if you go through it, you're going to choose your ancestry, which is your race if you're a D&D fan. And from that, you're going to then choose your attributes based on that. Now, you don't roll dice. You can, but we're not doing that. We're going to do it by the standard in the book where it bumps your attributes based on your choices. So ancestry, like say you choose, a goblin. you get a bonus to what? Your dex and
Yeah. So
other thing?
I'll jump in here, Juice, because it's possible that I might be a little OCD when I really get into something.
Yeah.
So hypothetically,
Is that so?
leading up to this, I never get to play, or very rarely. Last time I played was actually in Colin's splendid Monster of the Week game here on the channel. And I hadn't played Pathfinder since like 1E Pathfinder came out. And that was like our group's decision to migrate to that. And I had a blast playing it. And that was, before 5th edition came out. But I had never made a goblin. So when I was looking through this book, I was like, oh, goblins, that sounds fun. I'm going to make a goblin. And I kind of had an idea concept-wise based on an NPC goblin that I had used in season 4 of D&D with high school students. So I was looking at the books. I was looking at a bunch of your videos and a bunch of other videos that were helpful. And I think you're right. I think it seems intimidating, but it's really not, because you make choices and then those choices provide you with basically different things, right? So in this game, it's boosts. And as a goblin, I get a +2 boost to dexterity, charisma, and constitution. Now,
that third one was a free choice, though.
That third one, you picked.
Right. Yeah. That's true. I picked constitution. So I think it's dex and charisma.
Yep. Dex, charisma, and free. You get a free.
And free. Yeah. Right. But some of the ancestries also get some flaws. So goblins get a wisdom -2. So basically, I think the nice thing is that the character creation process, you all start at the same point. You make these choices, and then you add up your boosts, or you subtract if there's flaws, and the character really builds itself based on your choices. And I found that the character creation process was really smooth.
Yes.
The other thing I think, compared to, for people who are familiar with 5e or even 3.5 or whatever, I found that you can't go wrong. So if you're one of those people who, like me, you might get a little OCD about your character creation and you might want to just have it be just right, you really can't go wrong with this game. Like, you could almost just blindly choose a bunch of things, and your character will either be really fun, or, no matter what, they'll be somewhat heroic. And I think that's kind of the tone that they established with this edition of Pathfinder, is that you can't go wrong. You could pick a bunch of things just for fun, and no matter what, you're going to have a great character. So I kind of enjoyed the character creation process, and I documented each step so that I could kind of remember, why I made those choices and how they relate to the character concept.
Right. Yeah, like a concept I think is kind of important up front with this. Like, if you don't have one, it's not a big deal. Like, Paula, if you have no idea and you're just like, I want to play an Azamar because it's pretty, like, whatever. Or if you want to play an orc because it's strong and badass.
I've created a character concept in the last couple seconds while Bill was explaining. So
that's because I called her out. So she's like, I got a concept, damn it.
I'm already set. I'm writing stuff down. I got a sheet.
Nice.
There's things on it,
What's your concept, Paula?
Well. I am going to play, I think, an elven swashbuckler.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yep.
Awesome.
Right. Colin scratches off what he was going to do and starts over.
Oh, is that what you were going to do?
We can have 2 of them.
Why can't you have 2?
Off.
Yeah.
I am that person that if you go to a restaurant with me, I will ask what you're ordering first, so I don't order the same fucking thing. Like, that's.
Are you going to then stick your fork in my food to try it, though?
You won't get stabbed.
No.
Are you going to take some of my French fries? It's like, it's okay if you just want to share. We could do that too.
You want to just get some for the table?
Yeah.
Want to just?
Are you guys going to table swashbuckle?
You could both be swashbucklers. That's the thing that's cool about this, and you know this, Colin. You've made enough characters. You can both make swashbucklers, and they're not going to be even close.
Oh, they'll be totally
to
different swashbucklers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make your dwarven swashbuckler with the and you guys can have your whole like.
Why don't you make the same choices?
The goals thing.
I would laugh so hard.
This is what I was saying before.
If you look at me and like at any point and tell me to throw you, to the bridge, I will do it.
This is Lydia's calling me out in chat right now.
Yeah.
Make an unconventional swashbuckler. Like that's my favorite thing to do with like I love to take the normal fantasy tropes and just fuck with them with characters.
It's like
all
an
the time.
orc bard who has like
Oh, yeah.
maximum strength and no charisma.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love I also like to do them in very simple one-word sentences, like two-word sentences. Like I remember one of my favorite actual plays out there is a podcast called Not Other D&D Podcast. It's fantastic, and it has a lot of people that are formerly from College Humor that made the show.
Oh,
And they had fantastic. And they had Adam Conover on as a guest, and he's like, I'm gonna play Orc Fraser was his character concept. And
a
like
psychologist on the radio.
yeah, exactly. it's like brainy orc. And I love doing like things that just totally flip the stereotype. So like the idea of like a really suave, like really fleet of foot swashbuckler dwarf to me, I thought was pretty appealing. Like a real slick motherfucker.
I like it, man.
I think I can run with that.
I think both of you could do it. I don't see a problem with it.
You want to be pirate buddies, Paula?
Oh, for sure. We should do that.
This is my second time playing a pirate. I just got done doing a pirate campaign. I still have all the shit right behind me. Like I have the coat and the hat. Like I'm ready to go.
Oh, we're gonna get into some real stuff.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm totally making a hat now.
Swashbuckler.
So Dave and Bill and Paula, since you've played with Colin as a DM, I just got to warn you. I don't have cool like voice trickery or like face mask, changing software.
Oh, fuck this, I'm out.
My computer couldn't handle it.
Oh, you can get voice mod, dude. It's easy.
Is
It's
it?
free too.
We'll have to talk about it later.
Yeah, I'll teach you. I'll show you all about it. It's easy.
I was telling Paula, like, if there was anything I could steal from like your way that you DM, it's that. Like I've always wanted some cool shit like that.
It's like
I would just like forget to turn it on or forget to turn it off, and
yeah.
Right. So I suck at voices. So like I feel like at times I would probably lean on that maybe a bit too much. Like
yeah,
it
can be a
bloop.
You have to be like really you have to be judicious with it because it can be a crutch and it can get annoying if you're using it too much. But it's fun to like bring out, like I just got done doing a horror game last week where people were in a hospital where there was someone watching them all the time and they kept hearing a voice over the loudspeaker that was yelling at them, and I had the effect on to make it sound like it was coming through a PA system,
right?
And that wouldn't have just worked as well without that effect. Like I couldn't have made that be as scary as it was because of that. So it can add something to your game, but you have to like not.
We played in a Tomb of Annihilation game, and I remember the campaign started with voice modulation for this woman speaking, and I remember at that time, this was 5 years ago. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's easy to set up too. I'll show you all about it.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. So I've shared with my players the Armor of Nethys website. There's also an app that Colin has mentioned to anybody who doesn't have an iPhone. It's what is it? Path Builder?
Path Builder 2E. It's an Android app.
You can make characters super quick, right?
Very fast. Yeah, to the point where I was making like you don't know how many characters I've made on the toilet. Like just
you've told me at times. You told me like 2 months ago how many you had made. I'm assuming it's tripled by then. Or by
it's
now?
a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And
is
I
there
have
a
this whole.
max?
I don't think so. No, I don't believe so. And it imports everything. Like when they came out with the advanced player's guide, all that new stuff is already in here. Awesome. And when you're done, you can just export the whole thing as a PDF, and boom, you have your character sheet. So very good to have.
Player's guide. Oh, it's right here. You mean you don't have to like flip through this? That's kind of
never once.
I love the physical books. I can't sit there and read like PDFs for hours, but I can use them for convenience. Right?
I know. You could kill a man with this.
Yeah, you could.
This is a bludgeoning weapon.
Dave has all the books.
Dave does?
From every game ever made. Is that right, Dave?
There's a lot of books on these shelves, but they're not real.
You're not in that room.
All the books. But the problem is I sold a lot of, oh God, so much regret. I sold a lot of my books and box sets back in the 90s.
At least you sold them. I think I just gave them away or got rid of them. Like, I don't play this edition anymore.
I sold them for like drug money. It was stupid, but
Hookers and blow, and
like,
then
a little bit of cable.
If any
Cable
students
Guy
are watching
Bill
this
coming
right
out.
now, he was joking.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I like the Greyhawk box set. Oh man,
Greyhawk.
I had the Cara Tour box set with the cool maps.
Oh man.
Yeah, regret.
Bill, you've got a fully made character, right, dude?
Yeah. So by coincidence, as I had kind of gotten excited because I'd never played a goblin before.
Yeah.
In our email exchanges, it was like, "Oh, Dave's gonna make a goblin." I was like, "Sweet, let's be brothers." And then Dave sent me a message like, "We should be brothers," and I was like, "Yes."
I love it.
Yeah. Serendipity.
I'm very excited about that. My concept for Scrim, and his name is Scrim.
Is that like Skyrim, but all one Scrim? That's how I used to pronounce Skyrim.
No, but that's very cute, Colin. Scrim was a name. It was like one of those DM situations where like the players were like, "Well, what's the goblin's name?" And I was like, "Scrim." It's like a monosyllabic kind of thing that I came up with.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of took that NPC who was like a goblin rogue kind of scout who had befriended the party, and I was like, I can make Scrim into a really cool character. So lo and behold, Pathfinder 2 really like facilitated that. I go down the list, I start making choices, and the next thing I know, I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like this character build process flows very well. So the ancestry obviously is goblin. And I chose the unbreakable goblin. Those are the ones that they basically start with 10 hit points instead of 6, which is kind of a cool first level buff. But what I really liked was that when you fall, you reduce the falling damage you take as though you had fallen half the distance. Yes. And I was like, I could just imagine Scrim like tumbling down a mountain and just being like, oh, in like a comical way, but somehow living, or like, falling off a building. I don't know. So I just thought that'd be cool. And then for the background, I chose acrobat because I was like, how would this little goblin have come into society and interacting with other people? And I thought, how cool would it be if he was like in a circus and he was like a tumbler and stuff, and that's maybe where he picked up some of his knowledges and stuff, and his interactions with people on the road as he traveled. So that kind of facilitated that. And the acrobat background's really cool. It gives you, so again, in the character creation, when you choose your background, whatever you choose gives you certain benefits. The acrobat gave me a couple more boosts to dexterity and wisdom. And then it gives you the trained level in acrobatics and circus lore. Ooh, I'm sure that's going to come up a lot.
Could. If we were playing my Extinction Curse campaign, it would.
Yeah. And then it gave me the steady balance feat, which is it's cool. Like, so it basically just gives you a little bit of a benefit when you're making any kind of balance action. Mm-hmm. If you roll a success, it's considered a critical success. You're not flat-footed while you're attempting to balance on narrow surfaces. So, a couple little benefits from that. And then from all that, then I was at the point where I was able to choose some feats. So I get a feat from my goblin ancestry. And from that one, I chose very sneaky. I like the naming conventions too. Yeah, so very sneaky. That kind of worked. Again, I got steady balance for free because I chose the acrobat background. And then from my rogue class, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Rogues, like in D&D 5th edition, they just get a stupid amount of skills.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I had to wrap my head around, and we were talking just before stream, is is about the different rankings, the kind of different levels within proficiency. So in this game, it's trained, expert, mastery, and legendary.
Yes.
Legendary.
Can only be
So,
pronounced that way.
Yeah.
Legend.
I mean, that,
wait for it. Dairy.
no, and I think what's cool about that is it kind of gives you some distinction or differentiation in your bonuses to whatever skill you have at those levels, because you know, in D&D it's kind of more based on like you choose it and then you just get a proficiency bonus that increases as you level up. Whereas in this game, you might level up and not achieve anything higher than just the base trained level in something.
Right. There's a couple classes that I think automatically bump you, but most of it's still you have to make a choice to bump those later on in the game. Yeah.
But to me, I think that's an advantage because it allows you to customize the character in the way that you want to.
Yep.
Now, some people naturally, you know, in any game system, you have your optimizers, your power builders, and they might use that to do whatever it is that they do. But if that's
have you tried to do that yet? Like, I've found one combination, only one that's like really OP, and that's like if you're playing like a spellcaster with True Strike, and you go with like a half orc, so you get like a bladed weapon that does a lot of damage. You know, that's the only thing I've found, and then like level dip somehow.
Do you think that the system is built in such a way that it resists that?
Yeah, there's a lot of thought, I think, into the design of this to prevent you from making things that are too far out there. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, when you multi-class, you're not multi-classing. You're taking one of the archetypes now. So you're never actually if whatever your first class is, that's what you are. You can then take I think they're called archetypes. I could be wrong. But like if you're a fighter, you could say take druid. You're never going to be taking all the druid stuff though. You know what I mean? And the way you do it is you take the dedicated feat of the druid, which is in the archetype section. And so, you know, one thing that's cool about that too is if you're a spellcaster, like that's your base class, you don't sacrifice your spell level strength by taking a multi-class or an archetype of like a fighter or something else. You know what I mean? So you're always still good at what you're good at, but you're now adding some variety from these other things. But I haven't seen a lot of ways to break the game or anything like that yet.
Yeah, 5th edition had some ones that were hilarious. How bad you could break it, like
yeah. And Pathfinder First Edition, like you could do ridiculous stuff early on, like within the first level or two, you know, like feat combos and stuff. And that's the other thing too. Like a lot of stuff doesn't stack. Like you're only getting one situational bonus. You know what I mean? And then if you have two things, you take the higher one, right? So that's kind of cool.
For me, I think, guys, and I don't know, I guess Dave is my only contemporary amongst all of you young people. I don't
started with 2nd edition D&D.
Yeah, I only played 2nd edition for the longest time, and then I played 3.5 for a couple years too. But
if you know, I think I've gone through every phase of playing the game, right? Like there have been, you know, in my youth, I went through the power gaming phase, and you know, but as I've kind of spent the decades playing games, I feel like one of the things, if I could pass on a bit of advice to people getting into the game, I would say play what you want. Don't worry about whether it's the best build. I mean, there's a million channels and videos out there about the best build for things, and I even make those. And you know, it's fun to make those, and it's fun to share that with people. But in the end, like, kind of play what you think is going to be fun, because it's a role-playing game. Has to come down to you liking the character that you're playing enough. And I think I've made a lot of characters who were optimized and perfect, and I got bored with them because there was no soul, there was no essence, you know?
Right.
And some of my best characters were not optimized. They were fun. They were fun to play.
I would add to that I find, and I totally agree with you, I never went through a power gaming phase, ever. I played with those people, and they annoyed me, so I never really got into that. I think it's like more like a fun intellectual exercise to see like the combination of feats, like in 5th edition, there's a couple of feats you can put together that are just fucking crazy and make you way too good. And you get opportunity attacks anytime someone breathes on you. Like, there's all kinds of ridiculous shit you can do. That's a fun intellectual exercise. It's all cool that you can combine that and make cool stuff. But that's never fun to me, because to me, the most fun I have is when I'm playing my dwarf character who puts his foot in his mouth constantly because he has like 6 fucking charisma and is constantly getting himself in trouble. Playing the flaws of a character is just as fun, if not more, and more interesting than playing the optimizations of a character. That's the stuff. That's the good stuff. Yeah.
Because this is the perfect segue, and we totally didn't plan this at all. Like, literally, I'm not joking.
We haven't planned anything.
One of the things, Juice, that is in the book that I found interesting was it's called Voluntary Flaws.
Yeah.
Now, so it's another level of complexity for creating your character. Yep.
But it does not seem to me to be really. At first I was like, oh, here's where the power gamers go.
Yes.
To min-max their character build. But then I'm like, it's not, because first of all, the flaw is you lose way more than you gain. But it's really
isn't it just making your one, like, you choose an attribute to drop so you can make any attribute 1 higher?
Yeah, or 2. So like it's, and that's, to me, the thing is like, you lose more than you gain, but really it's not. I don't think
gain a weakness usually.
Yes.
Right.
So for me, because, and this is just how goblins are in Pathfinder 2e, but like, when I think of goblins, I don't usually think of a decent charisma, but apparently that's a thing.
I found that really interesting.
They sing and stuff. They're awesome. That's also their mascot. So it's got to have charisma. It's their mascot.
Right. And part of me was like, I kind of dig this idea of, and it could be an awkward charisma. I mean, you could have somebody who's charismatic and not necessarily a leader, but they're likable. And that's kind of how I interpreted for my goblin. I'm like, it's not that he's a great leader. He's just like a likable, sidekick kind of guy. Right. But I also felt like I wanted Scrim to be a little bit dim-witted. So ultimately I took the voluntary flaws. I knocked off some strength and some intelligence, and I bumped up his dexterity. Is that min-maxing? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think it is, because you're doing it not to the service of like, how much can I kick ass in combat or something. You're doing it to the service of how can I make the character I want to make? How can I make the character I want him to have a little bit more. Yeah, there's intent behind it. That's not just, can I be awesome? It's, can I be interesting? Can I be the person that I actually want to play?
Like one of the funny scenes when I was using Scrim as an NPC is he went to scout out how many people were in this camp, and he came back to report, and the players asked him, like, how many? And he counted, and he was like, 12? And he, and so I'm like, it'd be kind of cool if, he's a little bit dim-witted, but had good intentions, so
idiot with a heart of gold.
I could see how I could have made this character in 5e, but I really honestly feel like the character creation flow in Pathfinder 2 facilitated me being able to make this guy as I envisioned him in my mind, even though I don't know the rules. I've never played this game, but it was really easy.
Yeah. Well, and did you also, as like you went in with a concept, as you were going through it and you'd read something, did you change your mind about some of the stuff because you got excited about the role play of certain feats?
I will say, yeah. So and that's exact. You nailed it on the head, Juice. On the feats thing, when you get to choose your feats, for all the different feat choices from your ancestry, from your background, and from your class, they provide you with a lot of feats, and the feats are like, some of them are just silly, just for that you could imagine having a lot of fun with. But you definitely, I feel like that's where the customization becomes even more finely tuned, where you can create the concept that you wanted to do using those feats. And it really flowed perfectly. Like, I was able to create this idea about this funny little goblin who had, grown up kind of traveling along with the circus and tumbling and doing entertainment and stuff. And was very eager to please. Like he wanted to, like a puppy dog. He just wanted to have people be, happy with his performance and with his work. So, it all these things really facilitated it. And I think there's a lot of choices, and even even with the ancestry, the heritage stuff.
Like we haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah. Before the stream, it's kind of funny that with goblins, like you could choose a goblin who can just eat garbage, and sustain himself off of garbage.
Right. Like that was my big takeaway when I was going through it, especially once I dove into the advanced players guide, because I was like, oh, the advanced player, I thought like everybody else from first edition. I was like, advanced players guides come out and this is where it's gonna open wide up and get crazy. And it's like it didn't. In fact, like a lot of stuff you would see in some ancestries, like the +1 for DC save for against disease as a level 5 feat, you're like, oh, well, that other ancestry over here had that in the core book. So it's almost like a lot of the stuff is almost still on the same tier. So when they added stuff to the other ancestries, all they did, well, not all they did, but a lot of it's reskinning and then maybe a slight situational change or difference. Like some of them can, the rat folk can file their teeth down, and then they can regrow them to do extra bite damage. Like a lot of ancestries have like bite damage or claw damage and things like that that's been added, and stuff like that. And it's very similar to how the other ones do it too. And that's also why I say like nothing really seems to get too OP, because it's almost even across the board. It doesn't feel the same though. You know what I mean? Because again, it's that flavor we were talking about, how they did it.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Thinking Ratfolk Barbarian for my backup character.
I love it.
Oh, you should come up with a backup character too. We can be brothers again. I feel like whatever I do that gets me killed, it's probably
you have to take
too.
You have to take cheek pouches though, where you can put like a 12-inch thing in your cheek to store it.
Oh my gosh!
Phrasing.
Please do
Everyone
it.
can
Please
see
do
it. And when you talk, it's muffled, but you can store stuff in your cheek. Like that's kind of cool.
Well, as I was saying,
We're all brothers.
before the stream, I was before we went live, I was talking about like the moment I realized I'm like, okay, Pathfinder's fucking cool. Was I had been told by everyone like the beauty of the system is the level of customization.
Yes.
And if you can dream it, you can make it. It's like we've got a mechanic for that. There's probably something, whatever you want, there's probably a mechanic for it. And I was like, okay, I want to make a goblin bard that uses puppets made out of trash as his instrument that he entertains people with on a street corner, like a homeless bard goblin who lives in a dumpster and entertains people with little puppets that he makes out of garbage. And also he eats garbage to sustain himself. And I went through Path Builder and I was like, well, son of a bitch, I can actually make that. That's actually like, there's actually mechanics to do everything I just said.
Scavenger background, the iron gut, goblin.
There's so much.
It's all there.
Be a living plant person. Like,
yeah,
is
that the Leshy?
Yeah, the Leshy from the
I was
Lost Omens
looking
character
at that. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, you almost played that last time too. You thought about it then.
So like,
if you're
ahead,
gonna
Paul.
make a swashbuckler, what type are you doing? Like what style?
So
Did you
you're
pick one?
so first of all, you're an elf, yeah, swashbuckler.
Yep.
So one thing I love about the way they do ancestral shit in this is that you can be an elf or a human, and then as your ancestry, and then if you want, you could go to heritage and add half elf. No matter which one is your main one, you could have half elf be the other one. So since those two are brothers, I thought it'd be interesting to do something similar but not quite, and be a half brother. They're one of your parents screwed around with a human.
Yep.
At some point.
Okay.
I'll be the postman's kid, and
Great.
and I'll do the half elf.
See, we don't even have to go to the charts. You guys are gonna nail down all the relationships. This is perfect.
Hell yeah!
It's even
There's
better.
Charts
Oh,
for
we've got
There's
this.
charts for that shit.
I made it.
Oh,
I made a D100. No, you're good.
Keep
okay.
going.
All we
Okay.
have to do is join Juice's Patreon and we can use the chart.
Yeah,
So
or
then-
just go back and watch the stream and type what I said. Bill Allen came up with 62 of them almost on his own.
Good lord.
Wait, does this mean that we get to call Colin the bastard? Because if so, that's awesome.
Yeah. Nope. Whatever. Okay, I can tell you right now, my name's going to start with a B so that we can have alliteration. I'll be something the bastard.
Snow.
Already
Okay.
set.
No.
Boom. And for that reason, I'm thinking, what did you go with, Paula? Because I'm feeling.
I'm not sure yet, so that's why I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah, so we have battle dancer, braggart, fencer, gymnast, and wit.
Yeah.
So,
Did you pick a background?
no. So I'm looking at that right now.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Do you have one already?
I picked. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I picked fortune teller.
See, I love this. I love this bullshit that you could make these combinations like that.
Yes.
Fortune teller, fucking right on. That's weird. Let's talk more about that. So why does
I
that
mean,
appeal?
'cause-
Why does that appeal to you? What are you thinking in terms of how you'd like to do the character that makes you think fortune teller?
I mean, so I have no idea. I haven't figured that part out yet. It just sounded interesting, so I wrote it down.
That's how I would do
hey,
it.
whatever.
I
I really do judge books by their covers when it comes to this bullshit. Like, oh, that sounds cool. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going with it. No, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
She's an elven gypsy. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I mean,
I guess that's sort of what it's feeling.
I've got
like,
it.
a
I've got
little
it for
bit.
me now. Now I know. Just because, again, judging books by their covers, there's a background called feral child. So,
Is
thank
that
you.
what we think it is? Can you read that for us?
It says you spent your youth in the wilderness, living close to or perhaps raised by animals. You have a close mystical connection with these animals and gain certain abilities from them, though this has limited your well-roundedness in mental pursuits.
That is basically what my halfling barbarian was. He was raised by wolves, so that's
Oh
perfect
my
for
gosh,
the
I
other
love
guy.
that. I
That's
love
great.
it.
I love it.
So, of course, God, my brain immediately starts making a story and going to something that has some big feels. But because if I'm a bastard kid, I like the idea that maybe this is like a kid that wasn't supposed to be born, an accidental, oops baby, born of probably some kind of affair between an elf and a human, and just got left in the woods to die, essentially, and is raised by, I'm not going to go with wolves because that's too stereotypical for my liking,
Yeah.
but
I rolled that in
Ravens.
5e's charts.
oh, the one that's my favorite in all of 5th edition. My favorite phrasing in the entire book, and it's the
Raised by wolves.
choicest use of commas, is that it says, I was, in fact, raised by wolves.
Yes.
I love that so much.
Yeah. That back actually, it was funny because I think that background inspired my whole character. That's
Oh, really?
how I
Yeah.
made my halfling barbarian who would literally I had Robert Ogre was our DM, and I asked him when I rolled to attack things, could I reflavor it rather than using my axe that I'm literally biting the throat off of whatever I'm attacking? And he said
Fuck
yes. And I fell in love with that character after that.
I had a friend who played a dragonborn that had that. It was raised by wolves.
Yes.
Who would, when he slept, when we stayed in the inn, he would sleep on the floor and he would wrap his tail over his nose. And then he'd be like running in his sleep like a dog.
I love that. I love it.
So swashbuckler, feral child, half elf. I'm actually thinking now, based on that, though, that I might switch out a swashbuckler because that doesn't feel like it fits as well.
It
But now
doesn't
I'm more
work for
invested in the
you?
idea. Well, now I'm more invested in the idea of being your feral half brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my jollies are really coming in now. Like that sounds
Yes.
cool.
So I mean, like, what if I'm like a traveling like fortune teller / performer / something like that?
So what if the swashbuckler thing? What a part of that is that you're like a
Stage
that's
performer.
part of stage performer. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it's sort of bard-esque without being a bard, I guess.
Also, immediate
Oh my
connection.
gosh.
Immediate connection to Bill's
That
character
ties
with the circus thing.
perfect to this.
Yes.
You see the wagon on the front?
Oh yeah,
it
is that a circus
ties
wagon?
Yep.
perfect to this.
And yeah, so that ties to Bill's character. Great. That is a good point.
That is a great connection with Bill's character.
So
if you're a circus
maybe
goblin.
I should go. I could go with gymnast.
Well, so here's a question, because again, just for everybody at home, no BS. We did not plan this out at all. This is just organically happening,
Yes.
which is one of the best reasons to do a session 0 while you're drinking bourbon.
PBR,
I mean, I
baby.
just have water, but like that's okay too.
But
Water.
but specifically though, so to circle back then, Dave, if we were brothers and your guy is kind of a pyro, wouldn't it make sense that, I don't know, what background were you looking at?
I went with the tinker because I figure. So you guys are much more sophisticated in your builds than me. Really, I just want to be a goblin and I want to blow things up.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, dude, that's okay.
What is wrong with that? That's awesome.
May I
So
suggest a link in though? Because I think
Yeah.
every traveling circus would need somebody who could just fix things that break down on the road.
Yep.
And
Somebody has to light off like the fireworks and
Yeah.
the cannon.
The pyro
and-
show. Yeah.
yeah.
So when we
I'm
start
always
the
on the verge
campaign,
of getting fired though because I break more things than I fix and I
So
set the
that's
wrong
perfect.
things on fire.
so here's the deal. So when we start this campaign, you guys are with a group of people in their caravan that you don't know. Like this is your first time being with them. So maybe something happened to your wagon because the tinkerer blew it up or something.
sounds good.
That's fine.
Oh, that works.
I love
dig
the fact that the goblins get the minus to wisdom. And I was like, and then it made me think, can I take a flaw and make my wisdom even lower?
So should I go gymnast to tie into the whole circus idea, or I could also go battle dancer.
But you're already a fortune teller, so you already kind of have a tie in there,
Yeah.
Okay.
unless you want to double down.
So here's
Did
what I
I
think.
just see
Well,
you
I'm
in the
just committed.
trapeze?
Well, I mean, think about every Renaissance fair that you ever go to. There's always like 12 different fortune tellers. So
Oh yeah. Which is, I think I now know exactly what I want to do. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Oracle as my class
Are you gonna change
because
it? Okay.
yep, I'm gonna change out a swashbuckler. I'm gonna go with Oracle because I love the idea that you are a fortune teller, which to me, Colin, means you're full of shit, and I am a dude raised in the fucking woods, but I'm the real deal. I actually am
Oh,
a conduit of divine energy, essentially, and like gods actually talk to me.
You mean you
are
don't
you
just
gonna
flip
be like
cards
the
and pretend
creepy
you know what they say?
person who's like, guys, tonight, don't go out to the woods. Like whatever
gonna
you
do
do, just don't go out to the woods. And then
Whatever you
like
do not
all
go
of
to the
a
woods.
sudden that night, the wolves are descending upon us from the woods, and you're like, told ya.
You were warned. Do
Yeah.
not go to the woods.
Love it.
That's great.
just wanted to share my personal love of the Oracle because that was a class from first edition Pathfinder, and also the first class that I played when we played Pathfinder, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm super here for this.
So
It has
I
so much flavor.
actually, reading the playtest of the Oracle, I don't like one of the changes they made. So when you spend your focus points as an Oracle, there's a good and bad thing that can happen, right? When you used to spend all your focus points, I think there's like 3 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But when you spent your last focus point as an Oracle, you collapsed unconscious for 8 hours. And I thought that was so great.
Yeah.
But they removed that because I think people didn't like that. But I thought that was awesome. It's not in there now, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's still a really cool class.
Yeah, whatever. I'll work with it.
You'll love it, I'm sure. But if
All
you
right,
wanted to go
so-
back to the playtest one, I would totally let you.
Oh, and I'm gonna I love for ancestral feat to go with this. And you're an elf, so perfect. I have the ability to telepathically communicate with you.
Nice.
I'm going to take the share thoughts feat.
Oh, that's great.
But I love the way they phrase this. You have an uncanny knack for communicating with elves that is uncomfortable to observers. I can cast Mind Link as an innate occult spell once a day, but I can only target elves and half elves. So I can just talk into your brain once a day.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
All right, so Dave, here's the $1 million question. Have you come up with a name for your goblin artificer yet?
I did. Crick.
Scrim and Crick.
Nice. Crick. I was going to ask you, did you come up with a tribe, clan, family name, however goblins name themselves?
I didn't. That's a good question. We'll have to come up with something.
I'm thinking, so I have to pick an oracle mystery. I'm liking the idea of the mystery of bones, which is just all about death. That I have an innate understanding of death as a just by my divine thing. I'm kind of building this, I think, Paula, that I'm like your weird goth half brother.
Okay.
Who was also raised by like turtles or something. I haven't decided what
turtles.
Animal, I haven't decided what animal raises
turtles.
Please don't do turtles. I'm thinking of what's his
snakes.
Name? Not snakes.
Turtles.
Fuck that.
Turtles. What the hell was that movie? Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise.
Yes. Please don't make.
I am decidedly not a master of disguise in this. I'm definitely going to be someone who stands out anywhere we go. And yeah, Lydia said I'm going to wear guy liner. I'm totally going to throw some guy liner on for this bad boy.
I love it.
Some really thickly applied guy liner.
I love it.
Oh, one of the things you get is Curse of Living Death. Your body is slowly decaying even though you're alive.
Oh, cool.
Manifesting as a bloodless
stink.
pallor, a faint smell of earth, and deathly cold skin. I think I was raised by worms, actually.
How would that work? How would worms raise you?
How does fucking magic work, Juice? I don't know.
It works like magic, but how do worms raise you?
Like magic.
They
it's
can't
crazy.
comfort you or nothing. Well, maybe they can comfort you.
That's why I have social skill problems. I'm going with that. I'm slowly rotting. An ear occasionally falls off. Put that back on. It's fine. I think I'm a male version of like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like there's going to be bits falling off. We have to sew back on.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, did you see my finger? I think it fell off. Everybody stop.
Oh, hey,
look for my finger.
What does that make me great for? Being a circus freak.
There you go.
That's true.
True story.
I am a spectacle. And
Gosh, I feel like we should be playing Extinction Curse now. The whole premise is a circus. You're setting up a circus in that one.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, it is. You even have to like plan the shows out with the acts and everything. And then you get rated based on how well you perform and all sorts of stuff and promote it.
What do you think though? Should I be an elf with a half elf heritage or a human with a half elf heritage? Like, I don't know what it makes differences in terms of languages and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if it really matters.
I mean,
choices.
Do the thing that gets you more languages.
I
think they're probably the same. It's probably just access.
I feel like I'm just choosing how big my ears are.
But I would go with the elf.
Yeah.
The half elf with the elf heritage, because then you could say that you shared a father, right?
Oh, I can't. Oh, I think you can do that, but I have to. When you pick human, you can pick half elf. When you pick elf, you can't by default, but you can.
Oh, okay.
But you can change that. There's a way to make it. They seem to. Here's something I've never understood in most role-playing games, but that like when it's always assumed that when you're half something, the other half is human, which never made sense to me. I feel like elves and humans can fuck whatever they want, and
yeah. Unfortunately, like I wish they would have made that one of the versatile heritage things too. You know, not just the vampires and Aasimar and Tiefling. And
yeah, they got Dampiers in here.
Yep.
I've learned my lesson.
Those can be stacked onto anything though, not just humans. It's almost like they should have done
looking at the goblin. So does that mean there is no Aasimar or Tieflings? It's just something you add to another race?
It's a
Like an
heritage, and
A
it's
heritage,
a versatile
yeah.
one. So you could be like a dwarven Azamar or a goblin Azamar.
Or you wouldn't be like an Azamar.
Correct.
Yeah, I like that better. I like the
Yeah.
plain touched races from previous editions better than how they are now.
Were they their own thing?
Yeah, I never
Yep.
liked that.
I love the versatile heritages. In fact, I filmed my video for that and I have not uploaded it yet, but I have to finish editing it. And it's my favorite. It's probably my favorite thing about Pathfinder so far. Because it's that customization we were talking about earlier. It's like I don't know. I think it'd be cool as hell to be a dwarven tiefling. Like you got horns coming out of your head and like
Tiny little tiefling.
Yeah.
Tiny stocky tiefling. A thick
Yeah.
tiefling.
putting those
Or
horns to use.
or if you go, or if you can play a Tanaruk.
Yeah, like it'd be so great. There's
Guys,
so many cool things.
With knowing nothing about these, I get to choose a mystery domain spell. I took the Mystery of Bones because death. The two options, the two spells available are, and I quote, death and undeath. What do we think? Which
Nice.
one? Death or undeath?
It's a great question.
I'll stay out of it because there's 3 of you, and if 3 of you vote, then there's a decision.
I'm going to say death because Valar Morghulis. That's why.
Okay, all right. I don't really care what either of them do, to be honest with you, so I'm just going to go with death because Bill said so. You see how I pick this shit? I'm not looking at mechanics at all. I don't really care. Is it cool is my only question, so I'm going
There you go. That's it.
I love it.
So Dave, I decided to use an anagram generator,
Uh-huh.
and the words that I put in are Goblin Brothers. Now, believe it or not, those 2 words create some astoundingly awesome anagrams. For example, boring brothels.
Boring brothels?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Here's another gem. Loser throbbing.
That kind of goes with the boring brothels.
My favorite one might be Slobbering Thor, as in like the god of thunder.
Slobbering Thor.
Oh, I love that.
Is this like the name of the circus that we're in or something?
I was thinking it would be like our clan name.
I like boring
goblins.
brothels. We'll be like, yeah, it was a brothel and it was boring, but it was the only one in the town. So what were they gonna do?
Yeah.
Full of goblin women.
And men,
Yeah.
whatever.
Key ability. So charisma is where I got to put my points. So that's what I'm going to do. Get them boosts.
New episode title. Boring brothels.
Boring
Bighorn
brothels is just
lobster.
so good.
Bighorn lobster. I don't know what that means, but that's awesome.
Bighorn lobster?
Yeah, like a bighorn cattle, but
Yeah.
Mm.
That's great. This is an anagram generator?
Yeah, so
This is
little
great.
sneak peek DM tip. I use anagrams all the time in my game.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're stupid and fun. Yeah, you just type in your things that you want to turn into. I tried Donald J. Trump and nothing good came up. So I mean, I'm just saying.
I had an NPC.
You said no politics, so
sign.
I won't comment
It's
on
a
that.
sign.
We're just
I
talking
don't
about the
have-
anagram
No,
thing.
I'm just saying, I literally typed Donald J. Trump and like literally nothing good
It's
came
weird.
up.
It anagram to shithead. It's crazy. I had.
Like, I don't know how.
It doesn't even make sense, but somehow. I had an NPC in a game once that the players were always wishy-washy on if they trusted this guy because he was always a little bit shady. And had they anagrammed his name and realized that his name anagrammed to Charles Manson, they would have figured out very quickly that he was evil as fuck. But hey, you can't blame them for not running it through an anagram generator. So this is interesting though, because I'm making this weird goth guy whose face is falling off, but he's an oracle, and their key ability is charisma. So,
But there it is. You could be charismatic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
scary.
This is gonna be a charisma party.
Right?
That's what I love. I love playing, especially something like that. I love playing. There's many different types of charisma. There's many different types of strength. Even there's different ways to play the different attributes.
Mhm.
And being a weirdo who still has high charisma. What is this?
That's what
just
makes you
the-
interesting. It's your quirky awkwardness.
It doesn't show up all the way, but see, that's just the screenshot that when you type in Donald J. Trump in the anagram generator, nothing comes up.
It says
Mm.
you get max number of words in anagram. I can't see
Oh,
shit though. All I
it
see is
doesn't
what you.
show the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Hmm.
Oh well.
But yeah, I like the idea of playing. So it makes it a cool roleplay challenge. How do you play that? Like, so I've played people who were high charisma before, but who also were really low wisdom. So they lacked social awareness,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm.
were still high charisma. And I played that as the kind of person who talks complete bullshit and just sort of talks circles around you. So you just kind of do what they want. You just kind of go along. It's kind of a cult leader type thing too. I think that's a little bit of it. Like they just talk you, they lull you into a sense of like security and like trusting them by just bombarding you with bullshit. And so maybe I'll do something like that here with this weirdo I'm making right now.
Well, I mean, even like the sense that like they're goth and spooky and mysterious, that has its own appeal and charisma to it as well.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
That you as like that character may not even be aware of it.
You just might have a really cool tattoo. Like
So
that's
good.
all it is, man. It's a teardrop on your face, like
Yeah. And like a super cool collection of Marilyn Manson records.
right.
Yeah, so Bill, I'm good with the boring brothels or bighorn lobsters because we can come from a long line of bighorn lobster.
I love the
wranglers.
lobster one actually.
Bighorn lobster.
I love that.
I'm going to take a voluntary flaw too. I'm going to make Homeboy pretty fucking low wisdom because he doesn't have social skills whatsoever. Doesn't know.
Oh my God, that's going to be our party. It's going to be like no wisdom, all charisma.
Yes, weaknesses. Whoa.
I'm here for weaknesses. Like I said, that's the good stuff to me. That's what I find cool.
Does make
Is there a way to do the flaws on the app?
Yep. Just click when you're doing your ancestry boost. You just click allow voluntary flaws, and it'll let
cool.
you do it there. So
the other player who's going to be joining us, he was thinking human champion or a human ranger.
Oh, thank God.
Somebody.
We need somebody to be a tank.
I don't know if the ranger will work for that though. If that's what he's
Well,
thinking.
maybe let's see.
But the champion could.
Well,
Don't worry, I got this covered. I just need chickens.
He's gonna put alchemy bombs on chickens, aren't
I'm
you?
going to weaponize the
I
chickens.
knew it. I knew it. And then he's gonna throw feed at the feet of the bad guys, and the chickens are gonna run up there. Boom!
God,
Feathers everywhere.
we're gonna be like,
PETA's
we're
coming
gonna
after
be
us. Now.
all I can do is picture like this group walking down the road, and Dave's goblin character is dragging a cage of live chickens.
A
with
wagon.
him.
He's going to be pulling a wagon behind
pay
him.
no
with live
attention to
chickens.
the chickens.
Or they're just following him freely, and he's just tossing feed out every couple minutes to keep him
Yes.
coming.
yes.
He has an
Oh my
unlimited
gosh.
supply of chicken feed.
All right. So, Dave, how do I spell crick?
K-R-I-K.
K-R-I-K. So Scrim and Crick are from the Bighorn Lobster clan.
Yeah.
We should probably come up with a name of our traveling circus.
Which one of you is Scrim and which one of you is Crick?
I'm
I'm
Scrim.
quick.
How do you spell that?
S-C-R-I-M, like Scrimshaw, but just Scrim.
Scrim. And then how do you spell yours, Dave?
K-R-I-K.
Perfect. Of the Bighorn Lobster tribe.
Bighorn
Lobster tribe.
I love that. Only in Pathfinder, ladies and gentlemen. Only in Pathfinder.
This is the content you pay for.
I'm
Which,
pretty
by the
sure-
way, thank you, Doug, for the $2 donation. We really appreciate that.
Yay,
Much appreciated,
Doug.
man.
You
Yeah,
rock,
Doug.
dude. Cool.
All right, so I got dumb as shit. Just dumb as a bag of hammers. Lacking in all social tact, but big, strong. I figure high constitution, like dude's been living in the woods. Although it's kind of a paradox of like literally rotting and having high constitution.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he didn't rot faster.
It makes sense because then it explains how he's like still able to live. You know, he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resilient.
yeah.
You know, it's the same reason why you let your kids eat dirt, right? So they don't get sick all the time. I don't know.
You let your kids eat dirt?
I mean, no, but have they accidentally
Let's
done
be
it?
honest. I don't give a
multiple
damn.
times.
As long as it
Yes.
doesn't kill him, I'm like, all right, whatever. We're not the
Dumb
parents
as
that
a
wipe
box
down
of
the
rocks.
handle of the shopping carts at the store. How about that?
I mean, although
Fair
right
enough.
now,
Well,
the
the
kids
last
are not
8
really
months, we
going to
haven't
the
let them
store.
go into a store. So
I'm gonna read a series of names for the circus.
Okay.
I'm ready for this.
Hit me.
Now, full disclosure, this is coming from fantasynamegenerators.com.
Oh, who I wouldn't be anywhere without, by the way. I love
Yup.
Fantasy Name Generator.
That has been around for so long.
Godsend. And
So
they're
long.
fantastic.
Guys, the
Like-
fact that they actually have a category for circus names cracks me up.
Yeah,
They have a category for fucking everything.
everything.
It's insane.
Yep.
They have featured in every campaign I've ever GM'd. So
And like
God
I
bless you, Fantasy Name
remember
Generator.
using that like 15 years ago. I swear it was out there then. It
Yeah,
was
it's old school for sure.
forever.
All
Yep.
right. Madam Callahan's Shadow Circus. I don't know.
don't feel strong about it.
The Crazy Hippodrome.
Now we're talking.
Bizarre Festivus.
For the rest of us. Continue.
They keep putting in these random like Dame Ballard, Frau Crawford.
Oh, Foul Coffin.
bunch of weird,
Yeah.
like random names that they just add in there.
Circus Serendipity.
What about
The
Circus
Radiant
Synergy? Synergy.
Cirque Lunacy. These are not hitting.
Yeah, not hitting me real hard.
So
Mhm.
that's the issue I have with the fantasy name generator site. You got to go through a lot to find good ones, I feel.
Good thing it only requires one click, though. I mean, just
Yeah, but it only gives you
I mean,
10. Like I want to hit it and get 100. Like bam.
I'm
let's
on like
see.
click 12 right now.
Yeah.
I just pulled up the same one. I got the Wicked Circus immediately, which I don't want for the name, but it sounds like a pretty sweet band from the late 90s.
Sounds like
Yeah.
an ICP tour.
And I retract everything I just said. Yep.
Hey, that's a
Circus-
sweet band from like the now, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
it too late to
Oh,
drop
did
out of
I
this
just
game?
give away one of my secrets?
Oh, God.
Flamboyant
I
Bizarre.
grew up on that, man. I was 30 minutes from Detroit.
Let's see. Duke Gilliam's Sunrise Circus. I just got that one coming up.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like I could come up with a backstory for any of the ones with the names.
Right.
Mademoiselle Becker's Miracle Circus.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I'm gonna go back to coming. I gotta find a name for Homeboy here, and I agree.
What if you're not a circus yet? What if that's like your goal?
just trying to make the big
To
top?
get enough treasure that you can actually like fund
Start
a
the
circus. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
like start our own.
Yeah. Like that's why you guys are
Trying
all
to
together.
start our own circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we were in a circus and something happened. So now we have to strike out our own and start.
You
a
mean
new
you
one.
blew something up?
You were part of one. He ruined it.
Somehow got everyone blamed.
You outed the fortune teller on accident that she was a fraud, and now you guys are
Mhm.
relocating. There's so many things you could go with.
I was only suspected of fraud. It's never been
proven?
proven.
Allegedly.
It's all a hoax.
Those totally fake criers.
Flaming tent circus. The chat's throwing some ideas out there. Bizarre,
Oh,
hippodrome, or bust.
Let's make it the best from the chat.
There you go. Chat, it's on you guys. We're relying
Yep,
on you.
it's all you guys. Name our circus.
Don't fail us.
Name
Don't
my
let us
guy while you're
down.
at it. Throw in a name that starts with B. Saves me the trouble of clicking through fantasy name generator. I want to be B the Bastard. I don't care. I just wanted to start with B. I love alliteration. So something the Bastard is
So what are you again? I don't even know what ancestry you ended up with.
half elf. I'm a
okay.
human ancestry, half elf heritage. So I am Paula's character's half elf rotting brother from the woods.
I mean, logically, doesn't everybody have one of those?
So you're like an Oracle of Bones, right? Wasn't that the...
Yeah, Oracle of Bones. Yep.
Okay.
She's full of shit. I'm the real deal.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, every time you say that, like another finger falls off, and it's almost like you're the one with the tell that's BS. Like,
I think
oh crap, his eye's twitching again. Oh, and there goes like a chunk of his eyebrow.
definitely trained in intimidation because he is an unsettling sight.
Actually, that's awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You
Just
probably
by
stink
pure-
too. If you get within a foot of you, like you probably reek, man.
There's a musk
Yeah.
to
the
the
smell of
bastard.
death is gross.
yeah. Yeah, and he's perpetually rotting, so that makes sense. And then I think intimidation to me makes sense, and then he's got to be super bad at like society. I have a -1 in that shit because I'm so incredibly dumb. I don't know. What else makes sense, you think, for a second skill? I have one more to take.
Do you have any lore skills?
I do not. No.
I don't even know if that's something you can freely take or if that comes from...
Yeah, I think that's
Other
background
stuff.
dependent, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I have an ability called Imprecise Scent.
Imprecise sense. So that's good. That's a really good ability to have.
I can't.
So
be
if
sniffed
you're
out.
within like 30 feet of somebody who's invisible, for example, you can smell them over your dead funk.
It's remarkable. I can smell anything over my dead funk.
Maybe that's why. It's like, wait, it's not as dead and funky as it was.
It's like, oh, that smells pleasant. I hate it.
Yeah, it smells like flowers.
That smells like flowers. Fuck that.
All right, let's see if I can find. So you're choosing your class skills right now?
Yes. I think I can justify him being good at thievery. That he's gotten by partially by stealing shit and surviving that way. I think
Right.
that makes sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're like living in the woods, you'd have to figure something out. I mean, why not have a little bit of sleight of hand?
So
Or
I'm
something.
thinking about taking otherworldly magic
Okay.
and picking up
that.
a cantrip. So should I pick up
Is that an ancestry
Like-
feat?
yes, telekinetic projectile? I feel like also goes along with fortune telling well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Maybe
could
she's
do
not
like
a fraud.
prestidigitation. I could do ghost sounds.
Ghost sounds, you say?
There's a lot of good options that I feel like could be great.
What? So what do you have? What are the options?
I mean, that's what I was saying. So like I could do like a dancing lights or a ghost sound
Mhm.
or any sort of arcane cantrip. So I could do prestidigitation, I could do telekinetic projectile.
Ghost sounds to me makes a lot of sense. If you're a fortune teller, or if you're like, do you want to play that as kind of like psychic medium?
Yeah.
type? Yeah,
think
then
that's
ghost
what I'm
sounds
gonna
makes a
go
lot of
for.
ooh, I heard your dead mother talking. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
You might even be able to trick the oracle in your party.
I doubt it. I've seen the other side. And I think this will be my first ever true neutral character. I've never played one before. But
Really?
never played a true neutral. But it makes sense for this guy as someone who is aligned with death. There's nothing more neutral than death. It comes for us all.
I'm 99% sure
What
that
about
I
occultism?
am
Colin?
not writing things down in the correct spot.
I didn't go with occultism
Probably not.
because I always looked at occultism because it's intelligence based.
Mhm.
I looked at occultism as like knowledge of the occult, and I don't think he has any of that at all.
Right.
I think it's all intuitive.
Yeah, it's a recall knowledge. It's a decipher writing, identify magic, and learning.
Exactly.
spells.
He doesn't know anything. God just talks to him. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And I mean, lore is intelligence usually too, and all you can really do with lore is earn income and maybe get some background information on stuff, like if it's the specific lore you take, basically.
Right. Okay, so other than picking spells, I think I'm done with my rot fiend friend here.
Spells are hard to pick. I have such a hard time with spells.
I know that's where I always spend the most time.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's like an
you know,
off stream. Like, hey, you spend your next 3 hours doing that crap.
That's me with a legal pad doing a pros and cons list.
I don't do that, but I'm like the first one that sounds cool. That one, the next cool one. Like I don't get through all the spells. I don't read them all. None of that.
He's got to have chill touch. That seems important to me.
Right.
Yep. That's a great choice for you.
I know this is kind of broken and it would only be for flavor, but I love the idea if he's like I was just thinking with the thievery thing is that like his hand literally like detaches and crawls over and picks something up and then goes back. It's only
and you just freeze it back in place.
yeah. All right. Yeah, just
I'm on
chill
board.
and we're good. Yeah.
So how's your character coming, Paula?
I think good. I think I did this right.
Yeah. I can
I've
look at
got-
it later too.
I've
I mean,
got
it doesn't
all
matter if
sorts
it's not
of things that are again probably not in the correct location. However, they are on here.
Mhm. Abilities tend to go where the feats are.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I ran out of room for some things, so I didn't know if it was a feat or if it's a skill, so I just put it all in the same spot.
Oh, well, the skills are on the front page.
Yeah, but there was like some stuff that it made it sound like it's more of just like a skill, or it's like this is a special ability thing you can do. It's not really a feat, but like maybe it goes where the feature section is because there's a feature and then there's a feat area.
So the character sheets you have are the general ones. There
So-
are class specific character sheets.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
So I don't have the
I'm
class
just-
specific ones, so I can't help you there.
I'm
It'd be
just
nice if we had a
winging
working
it.
printer, but we do not.
And
So
then I might
you're-
just download the app to make sure I did it correctly.
it won't work on an iPhone.
I know. I could do it on
okay.
my tablet.
Oh, getting fancy.
I know, so fancy.
So
Yeah, so I think I'm good.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then Dave, is yours done?
Yeah. I
Cool.
mean, that makes it super easy and fast.
Awesome.
Oh, if you have the app, by the way, when you get to the equipment section, just look at the kits. If you haven't done that,
Start with the kit. Yep.
just
for your
buy the whole
class.
like I just got an Oracle's kit, just automatically gives you all the shit that you need for
And you
the
can
basic-
pick and choose a couple things, and then after that, you'll still have money left over to buy other stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
So if you get the chance, send me your character sheets in the next day or so. I'd love to look them over and make sure that the numbers are right. That's all. Now we'll have to figure out how, because Draven, he's the only character that doesn't have a tie yet, like within the build, right? Like you got brothers here, we got other siblings here. So we'll have to figure out how to tie him in.
Rotting half brother. Yep.
Right, rotting half brother. So we're gonna have to figure out how to tie him in. Maybe he's
I
just
have
like,
an idea.
okay, go for it.
If he wants to make a fighter type, it totally makes sense
Yeah,
that the circus would have had somebody to handle security, right? To
100%.
handle,
Bouncer.
ticket
know,
taker.
Yeah, and then when we're on the road to protect us from bandits, that kind of stuff.
Yes, I agree.
Totally. Yeah, that
And
makes
if
sense
he's
to
a
me.
ranger, who knows? Maybe he's got like a animal companion that is
Yeah.
also part of the show. There's a lot of ways he can still go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll watch this after and he'll get some ideas. So again, first and foremost is our fun. Obviously we stream the game. We love having viewers. We at times might even try to incorporate some of your ideas in the chat because it's awesome to do that. But the most important thing is that our players have a good time. And with that also comes like if rules things come up, there's gonna be times we hand wave things for, again, in the name of fun. We're going to Draven is familiar with the Pathfinder system more so than I am, I think. So I will probably at times even lean on him. And the campaign we're running is a shorter one. It is the Fall of Plaguestone. So it starts off you guys are going to be traveling with some people that you don't know very well, and you're going through an area that is, how do we say, run down kind of. It's a lot of forests, run down, some anomalies, things like that. And things go awry, and that's how the campaign will start. I'm not going to give away too much. I don't want to ruin, some of the investigation to it and mystery of it. But it looks really good. I've read the whole thing a couple times now, and I'm really excited to run it. So, yeah.
Can I already ask you a rule hand wave, Juice?
100%.
The Divine Lance spell requires that you can't cast the spell if you don't have a deity, if your deity is true neutral.
Okay.
It's a fucking cantrip that does 1d4 plus spellcasting ability modifier damage. It's not like it's anything special.
If you want to see, that's the stuff I don't like about this Pathfinder system is the alignment restrictions to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I am totally fine with you flavoring a spell differently than it's worded. Like if it's Thorn Whip, it doesn't have to be like a Thorn Whip, right? So if you want to, now I don't know if there's balance issues related to that though. That's the other thing. But I would assume that it would be fine. If it's a problem in game, we'll handle it then outside of game. But have fun.
I doubt it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem. Go ahead and take it.
And I'm just really tempted to take Summon Instrument, and I don't know why. Which to me
what
is
instrument would you summon though?
I'm so glad you asked. It's totally a rib cage that he plays like a xylophone.
I'm okay with that.
That's
I'm okay with it.
It's half a rib cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
That's perfect because we need background music for the different performances.
Totally play. Yes, absolutely. I'm so here for that. That is the stupidest choice I've made so far, and I'm absolutely here for it.
That's great. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a lot of other things. Is there anything for you guys that would be off limits in the game? Things that bother you, upset you?
Yes, but I'd rather do that on
X's?
stream, to be honest.
Perfect. Send me the list.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one. You don't even have to copy people if you don't want.
Yeah.
And that goes for anyone. If you want it to be more private, send it to me and we'll handle that. The only thing I will say, and I do this too, let's try not to drop a bunch of F-bombs. I've done that a little bit lately, more so than I want to. And then I usually tend to avoid in my games anything sexual. So if anything's starting to go that way, it's like a fade to black for me, if anything. And we can insinuate whatever you want happened. Like but even then I don't really want to go into detail on it. I do not want to role
I signed
play.
up just for the romantic role play with you.
I was here for the erotic role play.
I don't want to role play that with you, man.
You got to remember, dude, I come from ERP. You know what that stands for. I also don't worry. I don't think anyone's going to want to bed me in this game. It might fall off.
I don't mind
anyhow
flirting with the barmaids or I don't mind any of that. I'm more of like maybe a rated R, maybe PG-13, somewhere in between there kind of player. Although gore is always really cool by my standards because I'm American. So
and an ICP fan.
American.
I grew up on it, man.
I'm
just say
American.
that?
No sex,
Yeah.
only violence.
No
Well,
sex.
you know, in America,
is
you
the
can't
most
see boobs
American
on
thing.
TV.
Nothing.
But if we go to
There's-
Europe, you're gonna see boobs on TV.
That
that's
is the
kind of-
most American thing ever, though. Being
Yes.
like so down for violence and
Yeah.
not sex.
That's my point.
Absolutely, 100%. No, you're
Yeah.
spot on.
I know that's probably why too. Like I'm conditioned.
Yeah, we're still weirdly Puritan when it comes.
so
It's-
but yeah, so gore is always cool with me.
All right.
So
Gore,
I'm
and which
good.
is great.
I mean,
'cause, again,
ultimately everything's
face
okay by
falling
me.
off.
I just try to avoid any weirdness. That's all.
Yeah.
So
You get to narrate all of my bits falling off. So
You're like, oh, and all of a sudden his ear fell off into his soup.
Oh my gosh, it's so gross.
Do you have the
Every
mending
pub
spell? Is there a mending spell in Pathfinder?
Oh, that's a really good point, Juice.
I would let you mend your body parts back on.
You should get that.
Yes.
I
Or somebody should have
absolutely-
that.
absolutely need to do that. That is an
If not, I
extremely-
mean, you could probably craft one pretty early in the game.
yeah, there's not a mending cantrip under the divine list, but
Mm.
I'll work something out.
If not, we'll come up with like a wand of mending or something you can buy or whatever.
Just every so often, he's got to go back in the shop and put a few things back on. The old body breaks down.
right. So,
Here
okay.
for that.
I wonder if Draven would be down with being kind of a foil to our ridiculous characters and be like the straight man, like Paladin, or
Yeah, the one
Like-
serious dude.
Like he's
I-
the one
I could see
person
that.
who's got it together.
yeah.
He's like the leader, the de facto leader, just because he's not like creepy or falling apart or blowing shit up. Like, he's the only one with a charisma score above 10.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely taking.
Excuse
Or I
me,
mean,
I have a
wisdom. I meant wisdom.
12.
I meant
Yeah.
wisdom.
Yeah, we're all
I
pretty
have
high
a
with
10. I have a 10.
I said above
wisdom.
10.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely taking Animate Dead because he needs friends.
There you go. The chickens might have a wisdom above 10 as well. Oh, I love it.
Oh, there is
Um,
mending, but it's not a cantrip. That's weird.
Oh, well, we would make a human mending or something spell or something. I don't know.
Human mending. All right.
I don't know.
All right, yeah, sure.
We'll figure something out.
I mean, you've got it now, so
Yeah.
A new cantrip. It's called flesh glue.
Yes, there you go. See, this is why Bill is the RPG genius.
You have to
Flesh
hand your stump to a goblin who licks it, and then you can stick it back on.
Yeah, you got to clean it.
Requires
That's
goblin
one of
spit
your-
as a material component.
that's your ancestry feat.
Hey, Scrim, could you get that for me again, man? Appreciate it.
The material component is goblin saliva.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
It's
Oh, that is
literally
so
the
good.
only reason why we travel with them.
Yeah, you got
I don't see any livestock options under the gear.
There's pets. There's pet options.
That's true.
Let's see.
He's really looking for those chickens.
But
He
really
needs
wants
the
those
chickens, man.
Oh no, I have to upgrade the app.
Who's going chicken hunting, Colin?
So, I'm not going to touch the chickens.
Never mind. You missed the joke. Dang it, Colin. Ugh. That's an
Oh,
ICP song for you.
Oh, God
Like
damn it.
one of their like most famous ones ever, other than like magnets. How Do They
Nobody
Work?
knows this stuff.
I know, but he was like, he had such disdain when he heard that. I figured he knew
because-
the one song.
It grew from a night out in Richmond when ICP was playing, and all the fucking juggalos went to my favorite bar and
Oh no.
took over the bar.
I've got like one reference, and it's like magnets. How do they work? So
Yes.
I'm now out. I'm out of
It was
my ICP.
horrifying.
Uh,
I had two players that played Juggalo Brothers, but they were goblins in one of my
Goblin
games. So they were
juggalos. Oh my god.
Gobblos.
Gobblos.
And I didn't know what a juggalo was, so I went down this deep dark hole of humanity, and
we had some conversations
came out
back in the day
different.
about that. Is there really not any livestock or anything?
I don't see any.
Hmm.
Not here anyway. Let's see. There's a search feature.
I
Yeah.
don't like the way this is phrased. I have a feature called Death's Call. And the first sentence is, seeing another creature pass from this world invigorates you. Oh.
Mm.
When something dies near him, he's like, oh.
He gets excited.
Ooh, a little hot and bothered.
I took the you're next.
You're next?
Yeah.
What's
you're
that
next.
So there are
when
animals, Dave, in the
when
core
you
book.
kill somebody,
Not a lot of
you
options.
can like demoralize the next opponent near you or something like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Ooh,
$2.94, the big fat book. You have for
Chickens.
animals.
How much is a chicken?
It's not in here. They have a guard dog for 1 copper per day as a rental price or a purchase price of 2 silver.
Oh, you could get a bunch of chickens.
Yeah, you should be able to get a chicken for like a silver, right? If you can get a dog for 2.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably even say a half a silver, like, right? Or
Yeah.
because chickens aren't like in real life, they're not even that expensive.
Yeah.
Like a dog will cost you like $150 in real life.
It costs more than that. We just got that. It was like $400, and it was.
Well, you got it from like
rescue.
somewhere probably where they actually groom dogs, right? Or did you get?
No. I got a rescue.
Oh,
Just
okay.
the
Not like
adoption
like we have the humane side. I think we paid what, $150 for our dog 4 years ago.
Not quite.
Yeah, less.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
All right,
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you get it from, but
Yeah, was it fixed when you got it?
yes.
Oh, we got ripped off.
You're in a
Dave.
different state. Like,
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah, that's true.
Dave, we pay city prices. That's the difference. My rescue dog came potty trained and fixed, but he was $400.
ours was potty trained and fixed too.
Mine
Supposedly,
was
was a stray,
not.
even though they picked her up and she was perfectly clean. No mites in her ears or nothing.
And this is what people came to your stream for too.
To talk about dogs.
No,
The
well,
content you
yeah.
want, folks. Who wants to know how much
Totally.
dogs
They're
cost?
getting to know the real, sides of us. If you want to do like a half a silver per chicken, go for it, man.
Nice.
I just want you to run around with a flock of chickens.
They're gonna last like
Just-
The lesser known new
neighbor.
wave band from Flock of Seagulls, the Flock of Chickens.
Like the first 20 minutes of your session is going to be me going through the name of the chickens.
Every chicken. Pipe down, Hilda.
They're like,
McNuggets.
why did Juice let this a-hole on his show?
Chicken tender. Just start naming all the chicken dishes.
You know what? You could pull a Fight Club and just not name them until they die, and then when they die, you give them a name,
Oh,
nice.
I like that.
and they're all named Robert Paulson. And we have to chant
And the
it
blood
every time.
splatter is a Rorschach.
Yeah.
It speaks to the oracle in the group. He gets that's why he hangs out with you, because it's so
Chat.
much death of chickens.
Chat, I still need a name, and it needs to start with B. Help me out here. I need to be something the bastard. I don't.
Failing you.
I
What's
love
that?
the flesh glue thing.
Uh,
That's becoming
my
a
name
thing
is
in my
just
setting.
Flesh glue.
Flesh glue, man. It's really
that-
close to like fleshlight, but I'm cool with
Yeah.
flesh glue.
Batteron.
Batteron. I'm writing that down.
Batteron or Branwyn.
Where are you
You
seeing
get
this? Are
Fantasy
people
name
saying
generator.
Oh, I'm like looking in the chat. I'm like, I don't see these.
yeah.
I just pulled up medieval names that start with B.
Ah,
Bruise.
bruise.
Bliant.
I also want something that sounds sufficiently gross for how gross he is.
Bousane.
Ooh, I just got Bulkus. I kind of like that.
That sounds kind
Bulkus
of
the
gross.
bastard. Yeah, it does sound kind of gross. It's like it feels like a.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
That-
went to the doctor and they said I got
last
Bulkus.
name Boggins.
Boggins.
I kind of like that. Someone said Benjamin Boggins,
Benjamin Boggins the bastard.
I feel like that's
but
from
I liked
something.
your first name first, and
I
then
think
just throw
that's-
Boggins on it.
I mean, I think you're thinking of like Baggins.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
someone, it was someone we had on the chat, and they use a name similar to that as their throwback to
Ballgak. I don't
Lord of the
I-
Rings.
Ball. That sounds like ball gag, and then now it's getting kinky.
I know. It's the
Not a
first
Subway.
like random like bee sounds that came to my head.
What's going on
That's
over
the
there,
first thing
dude?
that
Are
came
you
to my head.
okay?
Interesting.
I'm great. I'm great. It's Friday night.
You're gonna go up to bed. There's gonna be Juice with a ball gag in his mouth.
We don't own one of those, I don't think.
Anything's a ball gag if you're brave enough.
We do have apples.
We have
We have apples.
Oh my
Well, you
God.
won't choke on it unless you bite a piece off.
It'll be fine.
Babarag.
You just need to be one of those rat folk with the cheek pouches, and you're fine.
Okay, so I realized I was like writing down names and I was like making syllables together. I went like ball sick. I'm like, I just named my guy Ballsack.
Yeah.
It happens.
We got ball sacks and ball gags. That's the new.
I don't
Ballsack the
even have a
bastard.
name yet. I'm over here trying to figure out a name, and I'm terrified to ask you guys for help at this point because we've got ball sack.
We got Ballsack the bastard.
Dirty ball sack.
Hey, don't look at me and Bill. We came up with wholesome goblin names.
Yeah.
Did you though?
Yeah, but I need to come up with a name for a guy with holes in his body. So it's like a
Scrim
slightly
could
different
be
approach.
like goblin for scrotum, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of syllables. So
Scrim is very
What is-
close to scrotum.
yeah,
You guys, this is going downhill fast.
it is. It is.
Bono,
You got scrimmed.
let's see.
We need the goblin translations.
I like Balzik, not Ballsack, but Balzik. Bazik, Balzik.
Balls.
All the NPCs are like, did he say Balzac? I think he did.
Luckily, I won't run with that in game, but right now,
Pretty sure he said Ballsack.
that would I just have a feeling. So when Draven sits down to play with us, and he's like, "What in the world did I get involved with?"
It'd be like, goddamn Americans.
That's true.
All right, Paula, I'm going to
Canadian.
throw some names at you. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Ellison, Amiria, Nakisha, Shalendra, Tyrael, Very, Fildre. No.
Hmm.
Elencia, Muriel.
I'm gonna go with Muriel.
Ball kiss.
Hey, did you go
We
with
got
the
a
battle
ball
dancer?
kisser.
Ball kisser.
Oh, you went with the gymnast, right?
Excuse me.
Me?
Yeah.
I went with, what did I go with? The battle dancer,
Yeah.
That sounds useful.
for sure. Might be. We're gonna find out.
You're our tank. As of right now, you're the tank.
I mean, I can only wear light armor, so I don't know if that's gonna work out well for us.
You just
Don't
got to hurry
say
up and
about
get that
being
up
good
to
at it.
legendary, and you'll be good.
Yeah,
Legendary
no
light armor.
problem.
You add
Yeah,
that
I
to your
mean-
AC, you know.
We basically get that at first level, right?
No.
Pretty much.
Someone said Madame Muriel. Doug said that.
Ooh, yeah.
I have
Ooh.
hiccups. Damn it.
Ooh, that's
Ooh, I like
great.
that. Madame Muriel.
That's totally a fortune teller name.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have
Mhm.
Madame.
That could be an
Muriel.
alias too. That might not be your real name.
Yeah, true.
Oh, that's none of our business.
Yeah, we don't ask questions.
Well,
Is that what you're going with, Madame Muriel?
except for Balzac,
Oh,
who asks questions
I
like, have
am.
you seen my finger?
I went with Balkis instead of Ballsack. We have
Balkis.
Ballkiss.
Ball kiss. No, much better. Much
Yeah,
better.
huge improvement.
I think it's great.
Balkis. Balkis the bastard. All right.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of annex the goblins can get up to with your body parts falling off.
There's definitely a lot of God damn it, I told you not to steal my fingers. We've talked about
Look at
this.
you mounting your fingers on the chicken's foreheads to make them into unichickens.
Brugia is a worm species.
Brugia, yeah.
Brugia. Sorry.
Brugia. Ooh, I like that.
That sounds fancy.
It does.
He does sound a little almost too fancy for that.
Brugia.
Brugia.
Well, maybe if his skin wasn't rotting, he would be fancy.
Oh yeah, I mean he's very sophisticated. He has great taste in wine.
Does that maker doesn't.
Brugia.
Well, I'm excited, guys.
I am
Yeah.
too.
This is going to be awesome.
I'm just gonna sit here and watch you guys roleplay the whole time. Hey, who cares about the module? Like, you guys are running a circus.
Are you
I won't
okay
have
over
hiccups next
That's
time.
a
I
nasty
promise.
hiccup. Someone mentioned that Ballsack is a good goblin name, and that is in fact true.
Yes.
Ballsack is a great goblin name.
So before we end, so the one thing I was gonna say, because you had brought up the charisma thing earlier, in Rise of the Rune Lords.
You're very high charisma right now, Juice.
No, I'm not. In Rise of the Rune Lords, the goblins are singing to start the module.
Ooh.
And so even in like the free RPG day, Weeby Goblin stuff, there's like all sorts of chants for goblins and stuff. I wonder if that's where they get the charisma from. So
I will prepare a song for Scrim to perform.
Oh, I love it.
The first game.
There you go. All right. My hiccups are going to drive me
wait.
nuts. I can't stay on stream. I just can't do it.
It'll be a ditty about where Balkus's finger went.
I'm going to be playing all the time with my fluorescent light on up as high as I possibly can, so I look as pale
As physically possible.
as I possibly can. Yeah. All right. Well, that was weird.
I love it. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll be playing every other week, except for holidays. I don't think over the next 2 months it falls on a holiday, but we will keep you guys posted on our social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So I will let you guys know. So thanks for watching again. Be sure to hit subscribe if this is your first time here. Give us a like and follow all these people. I will have the links up tomorrow, but you can find them all. Dave from Nerdarchy, Colonomicon, the Bill Allen or Bill Allen World. Paula's just here at Master the Game. She doesn't use Twitter or any of that stuff. She claims that her phone can't handle it. BS. I think she just doesn't want to be associated with me in public.
I
That's a
understand.
good call.
You know. And then Draven Swiftbow as well. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Game on.